curious, observant. Look at this container ship navigating the open blue water. Renting a massive vessel like this to move cargo internationally costs an absolute fortune, often around $20,000 every single day. When you rent one, you sign an agreement for a strict time frame. Let's say a contract for exactly 11 months. But ships move slowly, and oceans are vast. What happens if the clock runs out on that 11-month contract while the vessel is literally halfway across the Atlantic? The crew can't just hit the brakes, they can't dump millions of dollars of cargo into the sea, and they certainly can't teleport the ship back to the owner. Now, add a spike in the global shipping market. While that ship is trapped mid-voyage, the daily rental rate suddenly jumps from $20,000 a day to $35,000. The ship owner suddenly sees a massive loophole. They contact the charterer and demand the new, higher rate immediately, claiming that staying at sea past the deadline is a breach of contract. This exact scenario went to court in a dispute known as the World Symphony Case. It forces a collision between two very different things: the undeniable physical reality of crossing an ocean and a shipowner looking to cash in on a legal technicality. The companies in this case signed a standard maritime agreement known as Shell Time 3. It included a rule, Clause 3, that gave the charterer an option for a legal 15-day extension on their rental period. The charterer used that option, but the voyage still took longer than expected. They blew right past the extended deadline. The shipowner argued that the charterer had kept the vessel too long, and because market rates were peaking, the owner wanted to be compensated for that extra time at the new premium price. This chart shows the owner's financial demand. They wanted to scrap the original contract rate of $20,000 a day and charge the towering $35,000 market rate for every day the ship was late. The strategy was simple. The owner tried to use a strict calendar deadline as leverage to capture a massive, unexpected profit. But the charterer had a defense built right into that same Shell Time 3 contract, the highly specific text of Clause 18. And it all comes down to the single, powerful word that opens this section: notwithstanding. In contract law, notwithstanding forces a specific rule to override all other conflicting terms. It completely bypasses the rigid expiry deadline from Clause 3. Clause 18 states that if a ship is already on a legitimate voyage when the clock runs out, the charterer is legally authorized to complete that voyage and return. It also locks in the price. The clause dictates that this continuation happens at the exact same rate and conditions as the original agreement. The demand for $35,000 dissolves, overwritten by the original $20,000 rate. Clause 18 acts as an architectural safety net. It is explicitly designed to prevent shipowners from holding cargo for ransom when a voyage naturally runs long. The court reviewed the contract and threw out the shipowner's claim entirely. The judge ruled that the charterer was acting within their rights under Clause 18. Because they were already on an authorized voyage, continuing that voyage was not a breach of contract. Look at this vessel safely docked at port. This is the physical resolution of the rule. The charterer was allowed to finish their trip and return the vessel to the owner exactly as agreed. The ruling reinforces a philosophy known as commercial reality. Courts recognize that maritime contracts govern massive physical objects moving across unpredictable oceans, so they cannot be strictly enforced as if they exist in a paper vacuum. The judge established a clear economic lesson. You cannot ignore a clause you previously agreed to, simply because market conditions later shift in your favor. In maritime law, the physical requirement to actually finish a voyage safely takes priority over a fluctuating market. It ensures that international shipping operates on predictable rules, rather than descending into chaos every time a contract expires at sea.